I'll go first with my thing of the week. And before I do, I have something I have to ask DB.
Oh,
Yes. Uh, do you believe in UFOs, astral projections, mental telepathy, ESP, clairvoyance, spirit photography, telekinetic movement, full trance mediums, the Loch Ness Monster, and the theory of Atlantis?
look, man, if there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe anything you tell me.
Good answer. All right. Well, if you haven't been able to tell what my thing of the week is from that little litany, of course, classic Ghostbusters. It's interesting. I haven't watched this movie in several years, and even though I hadn't watched it in a while, I still remembered all of it because I watched it so much when I was a kid.
Yeah, see, I've got like the weird alternate thing. I never saw that until I was in my 20s.
Hmm.
I suspect that the mouth fun ghost scene might have been part of why I didn't see that when I was a kid.
Well, yeah, yeah, that might have had something to do with it. Believe it or not, there's some surprisingly like risque stuff in this movie.
Yeah, the 80s did not care.
No, they didn't. Well, and the other thing too is the PG-13 rating came out this year, so they didn't have that. I would imagine if they had the PG-13 rating, this movie might have gotten
If it had come out after, what was it? Which Indiana Jones was it? Temple of
it.
Doom?
Temple of Doom, yeah.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, so how is it on your 100th watch?
It's still good. It's still enjoyable. I still laugh. It's still got a really great story. Great, obviously top notch cast.
Mhm.
Uh, they're all in their prime. Bill Murray. I mean, is probably one. This is one of my favorite Bill Murray movies. I mean, right up there with like Groundhog Day and
Mhm.
What About Bob. Uh,
I'm focusing on the wrong thing here, but Venkman looks like he was in the best shape. That could just be how they're standing in their poofy shirts.
it might be how they're standing. Yeah.
I don't remember Bill Murray having that much of a gut.
No, he was always pretty thin guy when he was younger. Yeah. Although it's interesting, I did watch the second movie too, and there's of course the famous scene in there where Murray says, "Sucking the guts, boys, we're the Ghostbusters." But yeah, this it's still a fun movie to watch. And yeah, I mean, it was nice to go back and watch a classic movie from the '80s, and still enjoy it.
Yep, they haven't taken that away yet.
No, they have not.
Actually, they tried to, but what Chado's calling the onliners
Hmm.
is his new term for it, I think, or it's the onlines.
Yeah,
Basically said no.
no, yeah,
You,
but
you you
yeah,
don't get to do that.
yes, yeah, and yeah. So I think I believe the first two movies are on Hulu right now. Although they might take them off at the end of the month. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Right. Though imagine there's been so many Blu-ray and DVD releases that if you wanted it physical, there's probably a cheap one that you can get.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Just remember, if it says "Answer the Call" and has four ladies on the cover, there's a reason it's $2.
yeah, yes. So yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add?
I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Uh, well, how are you afraid of personas? So my thing of the week was Persona 5 Royale came to Xbox Game Pass, and I kind of felt compelled to play it because a while back, well, first off, Xbox historically doesn't do great in Japan, although the new set is actually doing pretty decently, especially the little digital only one. It's like I have a controller right here. It is not much wider than this controller.
Oh
Like
wow.
uh, it's I think you can rest the controller on top of it, but
Mm,
it's not particularly it's a very compact thing, so kind of
mm.
perfect for Japanese apartments.
Yeah.
Um, but also they've been making a real effort to cram as many Weeb games as they can into there.
Hmm.
Last year they had what was it, Crimson something like
Oh.
they've had Sword Art Online games on there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But so Persona 5, but I'd also been provided the link to a survey from Atlas Games, basically going, "Hey, what consoles do you play, and would you be interested in playing these different Persona games on it?" It's like, and I did say, "Yes, please bring Persona games to Xbox. I'm curious. I've been seeing the memes for years."
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, I don't want to be a liar.
Yeah.
So I'm not particularly far into it because, well, life.
Hmm.
I'm put about 2 hours in so far. So this is more of like a initial impressions. So I haven't gotten to. I basically feel like I'm still in kind of the tutorial phase because every time I'm in a fight,
Okay.
they're introducing a new concept.
Ah. Okay.
So I mean, you've got your main character here, who I named Mr. Snrub from Somewhere Far Away, um, and he he basically g- defends a woman who's in the middle of being accosted in a violent way. And because the person who did the accosting was some sort of tech bro, as far as I could tell, he's a government official or a tech bro.
Well, I don't want to get too far into spoilers, but yeah, he's government.
Okay, basically, they turn his act of goodness, where he
Hmm.
saved somebody, into into, oh, you're being sued for assaulting me.
Hmm.
So he ends up getting kicked out of school. He's on probation, and he gets sent far away to go to a high school, and I think an entirely different prefecture at that.
Hmm.
And his first day there, he ends up stumbling into an alternate dimension that is basically one of his teacher's weird Sado fantasies.
Yeah.
And he gets a stand, like in JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, only explicitly demonic.
Hmm.
And I'm only as far as his second trip through there.
Okay.
Um, so far, I'll say that I don't usually compliment the user interface on a game, but they've managed to make things resize um, eh, and do interesting things. Like it's interesting just going through the menus. It's dynamic just going through the menus in it.
Hmm.
Or it's like in the fight scene, it's or in the battle scenes, it's just very distinctive. When you're having although I'm starting to notice that when you're having conversations, like they like to alternate between having the character's photo up front, and then they like to have this big slice taken out of the screen, and then they do the go back
Yeah.
to the character's photo. And so it's
Yeah.
like they don't have too many tricks for some of it, but it's definitely presentation wise, it's just like very
Hmm.
dynamic and interesting. I am not far enough in to really comment on any of the characters. I'm choosing to play Mr. Snrub as very heroic, but occasionally snarky if people ask him too many dumb questions. One thing I discovered is that I was being nice, and it didn't let me choose one of the options because they didn't have enough, what do they call it, guts or snark or whatever the measurement was,
Yeah. Yeah.
which hadn't been explained to me that was a thing that could happen. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's I'm trying to remember. It's like yeah, it's like guts.
guts, that's
Uh,
it.
yeah, guts, knowledge.
Hmm.
There are five of them. Guts, knowledge. Um, uh, uh, I can't remember the other one. One's related to love, and then a charm,
Okay.
charm, and then I can't remember what the other two were.
Yep.
But yeah.
So far, now I'll say that I'm kind of wanting the story to begin. I was also very confused with how it opened because it starts in media res.
Yeah.
So Yeah, it's like, okay, I mean, I know that I was picking up. I know it's called Persona 5, but I thought it was like Final Fantasy, where each one was unrelated to the others. Should I know who all these characters are? But I know it's like all the characters were described as smart girl, obnoxious man, or whatever.
Hmm.
Like, okay, they aren't actually giving me any names here.
Yeah, yeah,
And so you've been captured in the future, then you periodically go back into the past to relive relive those moments.
yeah.
And so I'm still at the point where the game hasn't opened up yet.
Mm.
So I can't comment on the characters. I can't comment on the story. Except that, man, this is like so adolescent. Like I think it's funny. It's like you see media made for Japanese teens, and this guy's like, okay, what if Kirito, but like an anti-hero edgelord version of Kirito? Because he got the big jacket, but his hair is kind of messy and curly.
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a game geared towards Japanese teens. Yeah,
Yes.
you'll definitely notice that as the story progresses. Yeah.
The, the other thing I've heard, like the meanest comment I heard about it is people who really like Persona never had friends in high school. Because apparently the dating sim aspect of it does come up, but it's like not
Hmm.
even like the dating aspect of it, just like the how much the game is interaction with other high schoolers.
Hmm.
It's almost like people who didn't have a friend group, uh, imagining what it would be like.
Yeah.
Now again, I'm saying like that's a very mean comment I heard that
Hmm.
I don't know is true. Is there any truth to that?
Maybe a little.
Yeah, like, it seems a little extreme,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's yeah. I mean, just so far, it seems fun.
Hmm.
Um, if I so as far as the romance targets go, I don't know. Redhead here that seems nice, but
Hmm.
haven't had a chance to get into it. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so far it's I haven't felt like it's wasted my time.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I played the original. Tried to play this version, but I got busy with other stuff and kind of fell out of it. But yeah, uh, it's a fun game to play. You do have to use your time wisely, though.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that. I've also heard that if you try to romance all the girls at once, there's an eventual scene where it's not the harem ending.
Yeah. Yes.
It's more the everybody figures out that you've been two-timing them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to be monogamous. Like it seems like.
Yes.
Um, the other thing I'll say is that the graphics, because they were because they were stylized and anime-ish, you don't necessarily notice too badly that it was clearly designed to. So when this game came out, I was actually working at a GameStop, if I'm thinking of the right one.
Hmm.
It actually launched on PS4 and PS3, and I can see how a PS3 could handle this game.
Mm.
Like it's weird. It's like very so my favorite Japanese RPG series is Final Fantasy X particular or in
Hmm.
particular. Um, I've tried some of the Tales of games, and I always find the gameplay just like really shallow
Hmm.
because it's like, okay, I'm moving around, but I'm still basically just hitting A over and over again. And all these combos you gave me, I can just cheese the battles by hitting A over and over again.
Yeah.
Same thing with Nino Kuni. This is kind of like this is more of a turn-based, which I actually appreciate
Mhm.
because like don't pretend to have me in control of the fight if you're not going to actually have me in control of the fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like it's very simple so far, but it's also like they keep adding elements, and again, it's just looks so cool.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's yeah, aesthetically very pleasing game. The graphics and the cutscenes too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and the full anime cutscenes are very nicely done. I
Oh yeah.
think there is an anime based on this, so
Yeah,
who
there is.
knows? Who knows? Maybe if I get 5 hours in and I'm not enjoying the game, I might just switch media. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. So